Easy people, Tom Nice Things from Melody Medic here. This one I'm going to break up into two parts. Initially, I was going to do something about setting up to DJ, but I'm going to be honest, I love this machine, but it's worse than even the worst DJ software to use for DJing. You just forget it. Unless you're going to be doing house, you forget it. So there was something I initially was going to do, breaking down a beat and doing stuff, but it's not happening. So what I did is I heard this in the record, what I was going to use. It's Roy Ayers. I can't remember the record. I think I'll point it out in a minute. And I just thought, do you know what? I'll just try and come up with something. So we're going on a journey here. So I'm learning while you're learning. I don't know what I'm going to be doing on this, but I like this little thing. So what I'm going to do is split this section up and make it play as like one long loop. So I heard the let's dance, do, beat changes. So I thought, let me kind of get this so it kind of comes as a loop. Let's dance, do, let's dance, do. So what I'm using here is I'm using the cursor line to copy and paste this over so that I've got a full thing like that. As you can see, that wasn't quite right, so I'm going to use a nudge to nudge it back into the place where I wanted it. If you look back on my timeline, you'll see me showing you how you can create your own kind of loops by copy and pasting things in the timeline on an audio clip. As I've said before, an audio clip is its own timeline, and if you keep that in mind, it means you can arrange things in an audio clip in any shape that you want. Like I've created my own little loop now. That tune doesn't go like that, loop doesn't go like that. And what I'm going to now do after this is I'm going to trim it. Even though I didn't need to, I like that, so I know, yeah, that's what it is as one thing. So I'm good with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the looper. I always call it resampler, but it's a looper. And it's looper's ace. And I'm going to flatten that out into one thing. So it's just one sample. And how I do that is by resampling it out. So make sure I go to resample, set that up as record. Sorry, as looper. And I'll record this out as 4 bars. Yeah, that's cool. And then I press export. I'm gonna put it on the same timeline. Yeah, and there you go. So now I've got that as one loop. It's not chopped up bits. It's one thing. And while I'm here, I'm going to talk a little bit about naming stuff. So I've named it here, and then I realize now, after I've named this, I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm naming Let's Dance here. But no, what I'm doing actually is I'm just naming that part in that timeline. So if I was to do this as a whole arrangement just in that clip, I could arrange that part and call it intro, then maybe have it as a 16 bars and have something else come in and something else and blah, blah, blah. And that's just on that timeline and just that part there. That's why I got confused. And then I realized, all right, no, I haven't named the sample because the sample's still there. It's still called that. So I was like, all right. And then I realized, oh, the actual timeline, you can name parts in an audio clip timeline, which is impressive. So now I'm going to rename that again because that's what I want to call it. Let's Dance. The chop. I pressed the wrong button. Get back. Do it again. So Let's Dance. Chop. And as I said, I got no idea what this is going to be. I just thought, yeah, do something dancey. So you tell me what kind of dancey thing this is. So look, it hasn't changed the name, but above it was something I did. And if you look at it, it goes like this. The top, if I double hit this, I can do it again. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll be naming the track. So at the moment, the track's called Audio 1. So if I do it here, that's naming the actual track. As I've said, I've split this into 2 parts, and the second part I'm going to show you about arrangement. So I've just called it whatever to give you an example. That's what this track is called. And then there's parts in the track, which are the clips. So where I name the thing is not... Clear that. Don't forget, always remember, clear the looper, because you'll have 2 parts playing. So I'm in the grid now. So while I'm in the grid, if I name out in the grid, it's just in that section. But what I'm going to do is I go to the clip and I'm going to name the clip. So if I want this clip to be something like, I don't know, a breakdown, for example, then you name it there. If I name it in there, I'm only naming that little bit. So I'm only naming that Let's Dance chop bit in the timeline. So the next piece in that timeline could be named something else. So, for example, now, because I'm in the clip, I'm naming the clip. So when I go to clip here, that's where it's named. It kind of seems a bit complex, but that means that's ace. That means you could compile something massive together in one clip and then just name that clip. And it's only in that clip that... the things are. So anyway, back to what I'm doing. I always think, like I've said before, I never use audio clips as a thing because you get way more control if you put it into a drum program. So even though I've got this as one piece now, I'm converting this to a drum program and I've just used regions. And because I've got it the way I want it, I'm just keeping the events. I had to think there, what was it? Oh, it was 4 bars. It wasn't 2 bars, it was 4 bars. So I've already got it as the event that I want it to have it as. So that's great now. Oh, let me cut the clip, yeah. So that's great. Sorry, I've got a cough as well, so I'm not feeling too great. I'm hoping that it's just a sore throat, you know what I mean? Anyway. Back to what we're doing here. So that's great. So I was going to filter all that down, but then I remember, oh, wait a minute. No, you have to select all of them. So select everything. Now I'll be filtering everything down. So because this is dance, I usually do this for hip hop. My main thing is hip hop, but I like all styles of music. So I try and experiment and, do different styles of music. So don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot of hip hop stuff appearing on my tutorials. It's just that I know that a lot of people use it for dance, and sometimes I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes it's easier for me to just do a dance track. I don't really have to think about it in the same way as when I'm piecing together a hip hop one. So this is like a sample dance track thing. Like I said, you'll have to tell me what it is. So what I'm doing is I'm making my own little filtered bass here. If you've got headphones, you should be able to hear this on the headphones, and depending on what kind of speakers you've got, it'll either sound like mumbly. So I'm using a channel strip now. I've filtered it down. I'm trying to boost that signal. So I've just gone through the presets. I'm looking at the presets saying, yeah, does that sound all right? Yeah. Is there anything I need to do? No, it's not the gate. It's the wrong one. The threshold on the compressor. So I'm bringing that up. And I'm also going to make the ratio a bit more, and like the attack. So I could explain a bit more about how compressors work, but what I'm doing is I'm releasing a bit more of the threshold, so any of the quieter parts of this sample are going to be turned up, any louder parts are going to be turned down, so to your ears it kind of makes more of a balanced sound. So hopefully you should hear that now a bit more dominant. And then again, for me, I'm going to do some filter. So filter, really I should have put a compressor on this, but as I'm just making this up as I go along, I'm just hearing and I'm seeing, well, does this sound like something? Is this giving me an idea? So it's like just getting quick idea. Is this giving me an idea? Is this something that I'm feeling at the moment? At the moment, yeah, it feels like I like that bass line. Do 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 do. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh well, really, I would play it But as I don't want to, everybody's got lives. I don't want you to be here all day. I'll be taking ages to play that bass line. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, all right, I'll hold that down for now. We've got something. That's all right. So I'm going to add a kit to it. I think I used this kit on the last one. It's random, but I just saw London and thought, well, I'm not in London anymore, but I liked London when I was there. So I'm going to use that kit. Really, I should have chosen another one, but whatever. We're just getting it. It was there. It was the first sound I liked, and I went, yeah. I was going to go for the first one, but I thought, no, let me just go down. So it's showing that I'm using the kits out of this thing. So, you know my deal. What I do is I get the sounds and I flatten them out to the key of this. Truthfully, I did it the wrong way round, because usually I get the key finder and then find the key of the sample. Another thing you might have noticed is I'm zoomed in on this, and again, to repeat, like I said at the beginning, I was going to do something about DJing, but the way this is now, I can't DJ like that. I can't. It's not the way I DJ. I like a lot of spontaneity when I DJ, and it's crazily ironic that everything else on this is spontaneous. I'm just making it up as I go along, but when it comes to the DJing, the amount of prep that you have to do, it's ridiculous. It's like no, and it's not like I'm saying you can't do it. But as an example, the end of this month, I've got to do 5 hours of 5-hour like performance presentation. Basically, there's going to be some acts playing, and what I thought between the acts, I was going to DJ and I was going to just use this. So I was going to use this for the artists, and I was going to use this for DJing. But because I want to do a lot of mix and blends and funk stuff, I'm like, nah, that's not really going to work. I almost was thinking of doing what I call a Fatboy Slim, and that's doing a pre-recorded mix and then just messing with the effects. Does Fatboy Slim do pre-recorded mixes? Yeah, he does. But anyway, back to what I'm on about. So here, as I showed you before, I'm just flattening it. I'm getting all of these into key, all these sample sounds into key for me to use when I get that. And I'm going to say, I says, yeah, some dance beat like that. So I do the launch and note at the same time. So I've got access to that. And then I'm going to flatten all of these ones. What I did, and what I noticed is I left the tail on. I don't need the tail. Because it's a bass, I don't need a tail. I don't need a tail for any of these sounds because they're just going to be the nice flat sounds. So I'll go in here and flatten them against that sample. But I said before, I noticed that I did it the wrong way around. So my advice is this: if you get a sample, you get your sample, great, you've got your sample. Get a piano sound or a sound that you know from a plugin, and then start tuning, finding the key, finding the note of your sample, and then just use the note scale thing. I don't know what they call it, but you know that config, the note config thing, because that helps you loads. That means anything you play will be in key. What I did here, because I wasn't really thinking about it, I actually tuned them samples. The samples in the drum thing to the sample, and then what I like to do is I like to clear everything else that I'm not using. So I'm purging, like I say. The upside and downside at the moment, hopefully they'll fix that, is I did not save this and I nearly lost this tune, so I did the whole tune and I had to, for some reason, the internal SATA didn't work, and I had to get a memory stick, and luckily it saved to the memory stick. So there's a massive bug there. If you ever use like an internal hard drive, i.e. like me, I've got an SSD what I put in there, and if you've had any problems, please report it, because I've had this a few times. Anyway, let's get back to this. So I'm just hitting stuff and saying, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm feeling the groove. Like I say, Quantize is my king as far as I'm concerned. I'm the preset king, quantize king. Get something. Does it sound? If it sounds right and it's working, it's working. You can change up the sounds later and tweak them. But don't be spending all year trying to get something, because you, like you said, you'll commit yourself to a tune and you'll never know if you really like that tune, or is it just that you've committed taking so much time messing around with sounds that you feel like, oh, I've got to keep it, I've got to work on it. So this is vibing for me. I even put in a bit of swing onto things, so certain things are swinging a bit more, and I'm like, yeah, that's all right. I'm feeling that. It's got its thing. What else? All right, some hi-hats. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Bit more swing. Record that in. Oh, good lord, what am I doing? Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Something like that. So, alright, spontaneity. Just a little backbeat groove. Sometimes I mix as I go, but as I'm trying to keep what I'm doing and show you a load of things at the same time, I'm not turning down stuff. I would have probably turned down that kind of rim shot sound, but it's alright. It is whatever it is. So now I'm saying to myself, right, I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to copy one of these over. So what I basically did is the baseline thing, what I did as a filter, I've copied that. So now I've got two versions. I've got one what's got all the bass filtered out, and I've got one where it's just the bass. So if I wanted to thicken this sample up, that's how I could do it, by having everything filtered out on the top and something on the bottom. So I'm like, yeah, I like that. But I'm thinking now, I'll make that delay. This is what I was trying to do on the last one, but I got it mixed up. And instead of doing the putting the reverb on the master's returns, I put it on the submix. So these are on the right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one as a delay, and I'm gonna have one as a reverb. So the reverb is to fill it back up, to kind of place it in the mix. So I've put the mix up to full because I'm going to be using it as a send. So that's different than an insert. Maybe I'll talk about a send and an insert another time, depending if you don't know. So now I'm going to go back to that one what I've filtered out all the bass and send that signal to the reverb. So that's more placed now. And then I'll get delay. Okay, so we've got a bit more of a vibe going on now. So that's kind of like your disco kind of style, a la maybe DJ Spen. I don't know, I'm terrible, I don't keep up to date with people, so that kind of vibe. And then I'm trying to work out a better delay. I kind of like that delay, yeah. Is there anything maybe dampen it out a bit? Yeah, that kind of sounds wide, nice and wide. Okay, so I've got that. That's nice. Yeah, I'm gonna put these in submix because I want to get it a bit more pumping and give it that side chainy feel. So I'm gonna put both of them into a submix, and I'm gonna put it into submix 1. Don't forget, you've got 8 submixes and you've got 8 buses that you can have this mother ducker. You can have more than one mother ducker, and you can have loads of things routing all over the place. At the moment, I'm keeping it simple. I've just got one mother ducker, and those two things are routed into a group, which is a submix. And then I'm going to just make the whole drum kit, that drum pattern, like be the sidechain for it. So it should just make it all pump. And usually it drives the loudest sound, which is a kick. So I'm just going to make a threshold, but I'm not going to go mad on it. So it's got a little pump. Give it a bit of the Frenchy feel, but not too mad. So it's still disco vibey, kinda. Now my thing is, some people are alright to let things just sit and have that let's dance going around, but I like to have things to be able to drop in and drop out. And the ace thing, what I think people should use a lot more if they're not using it, is this, and that's the filter gate. And what it is what it says. It's a filter and a gate, so it's got different rhythms. It's similar to the pump as well. I should really show the pump. So these are them sounds. Now I'm trying to think, is there any ideas what are coming to me? I just did a key group off of that sound from the drum program, and let me go get a key finder. Yeah, I'm gonna get my key finder. What I should have done is added this first, but whatever. So, because I need to find, well, what's the key of this and what's the scale? Because I just match the samples, but I don't know what the key of this is. So now I'm using the piano to find the key. I use a sample and I'm just matching it. So it's G. It was G because I heard the first note. Yeah, there you go. That's the first note of that sample. So I'm doing my special minor scales. Again, I'm explaining this a bit simple because I use that sample. That might not be in G scale. I just know that those notes are going to match to that sample. And if it works in your ears, it works. Like I say, that's my belief. If it works in your ears, it works. We're not making philharmonic classical music here. We're making grooves. So I start thinking, yeah, let me try see if I can find some chords for this. So I thought, like, let me just try dance and see if there's anything in this what works. So I'm hearing a few things, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I don't really want it to kind of get boring for anybody who's watching this, because I really appreciate anybody's watching this. I do this so I learn. So I'm hearing some chords here that I'm like, yeah, I'm hearing stuff, but I'm not quite sure. Like there, that one, that's it. But you know, it's one of the things. Sometimes things come to you, sometimes they don't. It's just like there's nothing wrong with it. You try something. If it's not working for a bit, then you just say, yeah, whatever, move on, because you could be there all day. And like I say, if I wasn't trying to do this within like the half an hour, I've been trying to keep all of this stuff really short, half an hour. This is about 20 minutes. No, it's about half an hour this. So I'm like moving on. So I can hear something with that sample. But I'm like, yeah, like, something. I can hear it kind of like. But yeah, can't get it, so just leave it. Yeah, again, if it don't come, it don't come. Let me try and see about bass. Something. Yeah. Yeah, screw it. You just have to give it a shot. Like I did before, just hit them and let the computer quantize it. If I'm in the ballpark and it feels like it's got the melody, I'm not quite sure about that bass now against what I had before. But I'm hearing this. I'm hearing something in my mind. I heard something against that filter. So I'm going in the clip and I'm just going to clear some bummy notes what I hit. So go back to grid, highlight that bummy note there, and then shift to get all of these cut and paste things and just delete it there. So I've got that. Okay. And yeah, 8, because it went over the 1. So that bass line, the disco filter bass line doesn't really vibe, but I did hear something on that. Yeah, I thought it did. Because I was there. Yeah, sometimes if you hear a melody, kind of keeps something, and I think that's kind of got a bounce for me. But you see, I can hear something. I can hear it, but the notes aren't coming. They're just. This is where I would sit with it. I'd sit with something. So I'm gonna keep that sound, and I'll come back to it because I can hear it, but I can't kind of get it. I can't get it. It's like I think I'm gonna have to think about that. See, now this is what happens. I'm fixated. I can get it, and it's like I ain't getting it, but I try to leave it because that's how you can get stuck into something where you're like, I don't know if I like this or not. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so the filter, yeah. And we need to get that Let's Dance back. We need to get that back because we've got the filter one, but we want to get that Let's Dance back. So kill that filter gate. We've still got the echoey stuff. Yeah, I like the echoey thing. It makes it sound kind of big, and like when it comes to arranging, it can filter that down and then just come back in big. So. I could probably mess with that a bit more, but that's alright, that's vibing. So what I think I'm gonna have another groove as well, because it's all chopped. Again, like I said, because I made that into a drum program, I've got all them pieces, and because I've got all them pieces, they're all in key, so I can just start hitting them. Happy accidents. So that's the groove. Da, da, da. Yeah, alright, we'll have that. I've all got it in launch and note mode, so let's go. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Alright, and it's 4. That's alright. Is there any bummy notes? There is one bummy note. Kill that bummy note. Delete. That's it. Back to the matrix. Yeah. I'm feeling that. Right. It still needs some now. Now I'm noticing this is kind of moving away now. It's doing something different than what I initially had, which I'm still alright about. It feels like it needs like chords, you see. And this is where it is. So if I can see, when I'm looking at it, that don't work. Just
Trying to play me.
Yeah, that's garbage. Try to play. That's one of them things. Try to play me. Them corny sounds would just don't work without. But yeah, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes, it just, it didn't vibe. I'm gonna try. I'll try and get some chords on the plugin. See how that gels. Make life easy for yourself. Instead of me trying to find the plays, I'll troop that. That's a nice setup, that chord. And I'm going to use the ARP as well. But I'm not going to use it as a arpeggiator. I'm going to make it give me the rhythm. And the advantage of me using it there is all of the notes are the same length. So I could even get them tighter if I wanted. No. I think that's it. See, now I can that accent, but I'd need to compress that, and then I could have it coming in like da 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 da. But blimey, everything's so loud here. It ain't even that loud. I can't even hear that. Yeah, get that. I've got a full. Where's full? Man, I can't even hear that. Sounds. Blimey, I can barely hear it. Yeah, that's it. Well, forget that piano. I'm gonna have to change that sound. I can't hear it out. Let me get something punchy. Yes, plucky thing. Right. Did I? Oh, right. I didn't press it. Go back. Hard. Press it. Nope. Yeah, that'll do. I can change it. That's kind of. Yeah. Okay. So, another tip, I believe anyway, is it's alright if you don't get the first thing, if you don't get all of the chords in one go. If you hear a chord, play what you hear. So that first part works. So I'm gonna just go da 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 da, and then I'm gonna kind of hum guess what else is gonna come in. So it's gonna go da 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 da. Then it's gonna do something else, then something else, and then it's gonna come back round. Okay, so I've got my groove, da 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 da, something like that. Let me find another one. No. Oh, no. Let's try some sevenths, soulfully type things, maybe. So, there was something what I saw that Nick Trikakis say something about Phrygian. So, I remember he said something on one of them Q&As, so let me see. Is there anything now? Let's see. No? Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, that works. That's a vibe. Something. And then, yeah, then that. That's something else. And then, yeah. Okay, we got that. So we just need one more. Let's see. Is there any more Phrygian stuff? Oh, what's that? I heard that. What was that? Oh, no, there was some. No, where was it? I just heard that. No, I heard it. There, that's it, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, sometimes you just have to, if you hear something, yeah, do it. You don't have to do it in one go. It's like. Yeah, missed a bit there. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna try and highlight all of those and then delete all of that and copy it, but because look, it's, can be a bit faffy, and sometimes I forget, and I should have pressed the zoom and then close it in, but do you know what I mean? I'm trying to do things fast here, so then no, it's gonna take too long. Well, anyway, the first bit's just the same. So all I have to do is, if I get the first part and then just copy that, then use the cursor thing. Remember that cursor thing, and then I paste it, and it'll paste over that. So that's good. I'm good. That's it. sounds like something. So now, let me find something where I think it's gonna groove. Oh, that's cutting through. I think that'll work for me now at the moment because that's cutting through. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's got a groove to it, I think. Now, there was a couple of ways could do. Well, initially I was going to do it on an LFO on the filter on that sample, but then I realised, no, I've got this effect on it. And then I realised this has got an LFO. It's got some kind of LFO thing. So I bring that LFO part and it should sweep, but that's too loud, so I'll do it the opposite way round. So it should kind of wave a bit. Yeah, there's a little wave there. So there's just got a bit of movement. And like I say, experiment to see what other grooves work. Because I just don't want it on. I want it to kind of bounce. It's what I always call, whenever I'm doing like dance tunes, I always want them to kind of have a bounce. I don't even know if bounce is a style of music, but I always want it to kind of have that kind of offbeat kind of vibe. So let's see what else is there. Another thing about this filter gate is sometimes you have to reset the clock on it. So like if I'm switching them, sometimes if I'm hearing it, it might not play like that. So I always check. What else is there? What's that like? Yeah. Oh, offbeat. Let's see that. Oh yeah, that's a bounce. Yeah, that's got the bounce. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Do you know what? I'm gonna fix a bit more that threshold, and then I'm gonna take a pause, and this is gonna be part one, and then I'm gonna come back with the arrangement. So yeah, that's all right for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe with that a lot, and I'll catch you for part two of this in a bit. That bass line sound doesn't even work now. It's a whole different tune. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'll catch you.